Always grateful to get a win. I thought that our team really controlled the pace of the game, which was really good for us. We have been when we score a lot of points, it's because we get out in transition, we push the ball, and I thought we did that well, and we made good decisions. We shared the ball at a high level today with 24 assists.
I was going to ask you about 24 assists, and I know you got out in transition, but the three-point shooting was there as well. Was this your best offensive game so far?
93 points says so. 93 points says it's the best offensive game we've had, and you know we needed a night like this. We needed to be able to score and get out in transition and see what it felt like to play a fun brand of basketball again, especially with the bear of the SEC that we're getting ready to go into. So. You know, I got to stay in the present, because if we had played like this before, then, you know, we may have come out on the win side, but we really got out and pushed today, and that was the difference.
Now, you guys really didn't take control until about the middle of the second quarter. What changed when you asserted yourself there?
Just getting us out in transition, putting my players in that want to run. You know, I just thought initially Mimi was really slowing us down and wanting to play in a half court, and there will be games that we will need to do that. But anytime we have an opportunity to get out in transition, we really need to take advantage, because that's our best shot. The defense is not set, and we can make plays by getting paint touches, and then we weren't being aggressive. We weren't getting paint touches. We would move the ball, and then someone would settle for a shot, or we would pull the ball out and try to run a play instead of getting a paint touch and just playing just basic basketball.
You've got SEC play coming up this week. Now, what have you learned about these guys in the pre-conference?
You know, I learned that it's a marathon is not a sprint. I'm really going to focus on us winning games within the game, because realistically speaking, I don't know what's going to happen night in and night out. They're going to be prepared. I want them to feel confidence, but in order for us to do that, we have to find wins within the game. You get what I'm saying? So, like, whether it's keeping the team at a certain point that quarter, or whether it's us getting a certain level of assists or a certain amount of transition points, because there are some things when we get to SEC play that physically we won't be able to sustain. And if we can't box out Alabama State, which they're pretty athletic, you know, SWAC teams are usually athletic. I coach in the SWAC, but we're going to struggle boxing out the Georgias, Mississippi State. So we have to find other ways to gain advantages. And there are some coaches out there that don't even care about rebounding if they could shoot the three ball. So if we could get in transition and steal a couple threes, that can balance it.
You mentioned you want them to feel confident. How confident do you feel like you guys are at 7-6? Where is that confidence level?
Well, you know, I'm a half glass full type gal. And so last year we won 6. We won 7. You know, and so for me, that's a victory within itself. And Parrish, I just remember at the beginning of the season telling my staff, listen, I don't know how much we're going to be able to look at wins and losses and say that the foundation was laid this year, but I know that we can find wins throughout this season. And I just know for me, I'm working on staying encouraged. And I was just listening to Dabo Sweeney. He put out a post, and he was like, in year 1 they had 11 wins, but then year 2 they had 6. And he said, I know it didn't look good, but we laid the foundation. And then in year 3, and then he went on and on. So we're on the right track for where we want to go, you know. And I just got to keep our kids uplifted through this, because I call the SEC a jungle. And so we're getting ready to go into the safari, and we better not have butter knives. We better be ready to fight. And so we're going to lean on the players that played in it last year to help us understand that. And as coaches, we're way more prepared, because we've been through the jungle one time before.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Coach.